Hi friends, my name is Felicia. Welcome to my channel. Welcome back to my channel. We are getting into a realization pick a card, okay? Thank you guys for bearing with me. There's a new schedule. There's a new program. There's lots of new things happening on Felicia Nutrice Tarot as well as Exo Felicia Nutrice. So if things have been a little all over the place, a little chaotic, I'm sorry, okay? We are getting it together, and just pray for, I just want to pray over our organization, pray over our endeavors, protect us from hidden threats, protect us from hidden enemies, protect us from self-sabotaging behavior, protect us and keep us blessed and keep us balanced, okay? Amen. Today we're getting into this realization pick card. The frequency of realization supports our internal process of becoming aware of our heart-centered truth, as well as the external process of becoming our highest expression in the world. Okay? So a lot of what people are realizing about you are making people aware of things. Okay? So think about that as you choose your selection. We have 4 piles for you to choose from. We do have a couple of different updates going on in the organization. Members only subscriptions to this channel as well as Exo Felicia Nutrice. If you're interested in excellence in movement education, find me on my lifestyle channel. We have all of the information for that will be down below, as well as our memberships to Felicia Nutrice Tarot. We have our monthly zodiacs coming up. We have money manifestations for Q2. We have spicy 18 plus content and a lot more coming over there soon. All of the proceeds to our subscriptions, all of the ads that you watch on this channel, and as well as all the proceeds from Cosmic Intelligence go back to our nonprofit organization. That is why we are here today. That is our mission. You can find more about us. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram. But without further ado, let's get into today's video. Choose from the overhead selection. I'll list down the descriptions of the cards here. And thank you so much. I love you, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye. Hi, Pal 1. Welcome to your selection. So you chose the child archetype. It came out in the shadow aspect, okay? So you chose the wounded child archetype, okay? So I definitely feel like, you know, this has been a common theme on the channel, especially if you have been sustaining. People are realizing, of course, that you do definitely have a lot of dysfunctional relationships and childhood wounds. And they're becoming aware of your desire to serve other wounded children. They're becoming aware of you learning forgiveness. If this is about a particular person, you know, a dysfunctional relationship, you know, that where you guys may have acted out of some immaturity or childhood developmental trauma, they feel like you have still not forgiven these people. This could be even a friend that people are realizing that you guys were just children when these conflicts started, or you guys were just children when these conflicts started, or there was a lot of learning that needed to be done to awaken compassion. And when I think about compassion, it's like people, you know, they feel like there's a lot of learning that needed to be done so that you guys could have compassion, be inspired here. Something about, you know, feeling sympathetic, feeling pity, or concern for these people's sufferings and misfortunes. And this is the reason why these relationships could be dysfunctional, is because people have just been so misfortunate and suffering so much. People are realizing something related to perhaps a scarcity trauma, or you not having enough. People are taking notes of your different traumatic experiences, and they are very tapped into like trauma that you've had to your physical body, or something that may be related to your gender expression or asexual orientation. A lot of these people feel like you will not forgive. You are not a very forgiving person. I personally feel like there is a lot of controversy around forgiveness. Forgiveness is the conscious decision to release resentment. And resentment blocks the flow of love. It blocks you from being connected to your heart centered truth. It blocks you from your fullest expression of yourself in the world. So some of these people, I don't know if this realization is actually making them have a heart awakening to you. I don't know if this realization is actually making them sympathetic for you, and just like having compassion for your sufferings and misfortunes. But I feel like if this, whatever this is, if this is a friend or some type of lover, either way, I definitely just feel like it was a dysfunctional relationship, and it's because both of you or one person have been suffering so much, but there's been a lack of forgiveness. There's been holding on to resentment, because they feel like this is related to you blaming, constantly blaming circumstances on external factors and not taking responsibility for your role in it, and not taking responsibility for your own well-being, and not being open to learning about the situation either. Okay, so I don't know if this is you or them. Take it how it resonates. So, but I'm definitely feeling like, people are still feeling like you are ultimately this wounded child because you have not forgiven. But something about me feels like people have they have this misconception around what forgiveness should look like. I don't know if that means allowing somebody to return to your life. I'm not the right person to tell you that, what forgiveness looks like. I don't know if forgiveness means taking somebody back. I definitely feel like you're still in this place of discovering and exploring what type of relationship you want, what kind of dynamic you want, okay? What are people realizing about you? We have the Merkaba. The frequency of Merkaba supports our ability to use our consciousness to traverse into other layers of reality and dimensions. It activates our access to the Akashic inheritance as well, merging the totality of our experiences into our present to serve our higher purpose. So I definitely feel like, you have spiritual gifts. People are definitely realizing that you have a spiritual gift. These are Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, or something like that. A lot of people feel like you have this gift and you have this ability. You understand layers of consciousness. You understand the fifth dimension versus the third dimension. A lot of you guys, you have the ability to astral project and travel. Okay, you literally traverse into other realities and dimensions, and you pull down the information and bring it into our reality. You have like something about you, especially if you've been dealing with these wounded children that have done something dysfunctional or done something where it involves some type of inheritance. I'm hearing some type of karmic challenge or karmic situation. They feel like you have been able to, because of whoever this is who has been resisting forgiveness and holding on to resentment. I mean, it's their conscious decision that is their action. That's what karma literally means. And so because of that action conscious decision to hold on to resentment and not moving on through forgiveness, this person, there's something about people are realizing someone's karma, okay? And this is very triggering. So, and it's because you have understood the totality of this experience. You understand what this means, you know, the future implications of the decision making. You understand how compassion actually gives you more abundance and actually gives you a more positive inheritance. These people have been ignorant and not raising their consciousness and blaming all of their dysfunction on you, on their wounds or their circumstances, their misfortunes in their life. And you, like, something about you, I don't really feel that you're so negative. You know, I don't feel like, especially members of this collective, I definitely don't feel like you're the type of person that is sitting at the south end like some of these people. You are definitely seeking to serve a higher purpose, which means you are dedicated to raising your consciousness. You have the skill in moving through different realities and dimensions and getting the information that you need so that you can move on. Because I definitely feel like there was a situation where you needed to use your discernment. Something was obscure or a new emotional experience that you had to pull information, you know, around a karmic challenge from different dimensions. And there was a lot of ascension tension in the situation. And you needed to definitely gain your higher degree of consciousness around this. And people have seen that you've successfully done that. But you have learned that the people who have not, you know, moved on through forgiveness after getting this information, that they will dwell, right? So we have the second house. They definitely feel like this is, you know, about what you value. These people, you have been learning that some people have been, especially these wicked children with the wounded child, these people have been very envious of your resources and very materialistic and superficial. And you have been teaching and trying to help these people recover from a spiritual poverty. These people are realizing what you truly value, and that you have, you know, awakened your compassion for these materialistic people, because you are understanding that this is just a lot of scarcity, of people not having enough, people wishing and yearning and desiring for materialistic things, or not having good values. You know, they will inherit nothing. They will inherit no land. They will inherit no power, no livelihood. Some of these people, they stay wounded. They resist moving on through forgiveness because they don't know how to take responsibility for themselves, and they blame all of the dysfunction on other people. You will never be blessed and balanced blaming other people for your lack, your deficiency, your inability to achieve, for your well-being. Some people have been in significant stress and causing significant stress because they haven't had a belief system that was connected to higher consciousness. For one, they haven't valued they haven't valued community. They haven't valued true love. They haven't valued the right things. They're definitely realizing that you have a difference in values and lifestyles than they do. Some of these people, they've gone their whole life acting out of these childhood wounds and will not release resentment, will not move on through the process of forgiveness because they, you know, may be resisting higher consciousness. Ignorance is bliss. Some people are rejecting development, rejecting intelligence, rejecting, you know, modernizing themselves, moving out of limiting and outdated belief systems. They're noticing that your ability to move through these different dimensions have allowed you to reach and serve a higher purpose. And they see that this inspires you and to serve other wounded children. They see that you value compassion, you value sympathy, you value helping other people. Even if you have all these nice resources and materials, in the Bible, God says, do not forget to help the poor. Do not forget to help other people. Some of these people, they have, the people that are realizing things about you, you have helped these people and they have not helped you in return. It's been a one-sided charity. Some of these people, they look at your resources and feel like you don't need anything. Okay? So a lot of these people, they're starting to realize how, you know, your resources add value to your life. They're starting to realize, you know, that your resources represent your quality of life. They feel like through the second house that you've moved away from this scarcity trauma of not having enough resources to now being indulgent, having more than enough. They're noticing your personal freedoms and your financial capability through the quality of your resources and how abundant they flow. They see that you've moved on from this wounded, dysfunctional childhood, shifted your belief system, and now you serve a higher purpose. And this has shown that you have had just a different life than they. It shows that you have inherited rewards, and because they did not value those things that you have valued. Some of these people come from the same dysfunction as you. Some of these people come from the same scarcity as you. But because they had no purpose and value to serve a higher purpose, they never raised their consciousness. So they have been dwelling at the South Node, inheriting nothing. Some of them, their inheritance have been stripped of them. A lot of these people have been left abandoned and rejected. They have no protective care. They have no nurturing. Nobody cares about them. Okay? But you have compassion because you understand that, you know, whatever walk of life they have been very wounded. Especially as a high priest coming out, you definitely moving through dimensions. And they feel like you have been very objective and calm and well established because you understand that this person has been under significant stress in this situation. You've been very patient with this person because you've been, you know, ascending with this person, raising your consciousness and seeing how they have been, you know, the true dysfunction behind some of their, like, silence. Some of you guys are bonded to this person. A lot of you guys, you move through the levels of dimensions. You move and got a higher consciousness and realize that a lot of these people have been in conflict with you because of your belief system. They've been in conflict with you because of how well established you are. They're in conflict with you because they see how your great resources and your wealth, and they have been angry at you for having more than them. You being well established is very triggering to people. Okay, being very triggering to people, especially a Pisces feminine. They see how you just been upholding your traditions and moving away from dysfunction and upholding family values and upholding the family structures and securities and establishing yourself. Okay, and they see that you have valued your family. You have valued, although it may have been dysfunction, you have valued your family's traditions. You have valued your home. You have valued your resources, and you are objective in handling them. Okay, and protecting yourself away from anybody who have been in conflict with you because of your personal freedoms. We have flow. These people, they know, with the Merkaba especially and High Priest, they're just like, okay. You have just been in flow with this whole situation, and nothing, you know, you've been handling, you know, your journey and the ebbs and the flows with a lot of calmness and objectivity. You've been patiently getting the resources that you've needed. You've been patiently addressing this conflict, moving closer and closer to your higher purpose, moving you into different realities constantly. They realize that you keep changing your reality, you keep changing your environment. You move, they're seeing that all of this is a cosmic flow. You keep moving and you take these intuitive steps, and it leads you closer. They see it just like they're seeing the higher purpose. They're seeing the bigger picture now, and they realize that you have just been the high priestess, that you have not known how to get this higher consciousness because of all the dysfunction that you've come from. Your relationships and your home life and, you know, your childhood was not a representation of what is going on, you know, in the rest of the world. Some of you guys, if you were bullied, ostracized, alienated, your family lived in a lot of scarcity, the rest of the world is not like this. You have to believe in yourself that you would make better friends. You would form better family. You have to believe that, you know, and seek adventure, seek family, seek friends, seek functional relationships, seek, you know, learning and understanding that your wounds and your scarcity trauma and your grief is not anyone else's fault. It's not any external reason as to why you haven't been functioning. You have been learning to handle, you know, these reversals, these unfortunate misfortunes with a lot of calmness, and staying objective about the situation, and removing yourself, especially with this Merkaba, removing yourself from a reality, something like that, removing yourself, getting out of this dimension and say, I'm gonna reach into a higher power and try to understand what is going on. This is why you're the high priest. They feel like they're so bonded to you on a spiritual level, and you have just something of where these people may have done something dysfunctional or done something to create chaos, and they feel like you have maintained your establishment and you've done it with such flow. Some of these people wanted to destroy your wealth. They wanted to see you lose your resources. They wanted to see you lose assets. And then they saw you patiently getting what you need. Now they see you, you know, with a lot of coins building up, okay? They see all this money and wealth building up through the second house, okay? It represents that you have been healing and moving on through the path of forgiveness because you've raised your consciousness and realized that there's a higher purpose to all of this, okay? Libra energy, yeah, such a beautiful mind, okay? The beautiful minded, blessed, very balanced, okay? Justice has come in, you know, for you, and you just let justice come from, you know, by taking intuitive steps and stay calm. Okay, you stay very calm through this situation where you were met with dysfunction, chaos, or some type of significant stress. Okay, and you kept, I'm hearing something about you maintained your resources and kept your establishment in place. And a lot of these people, they thought that this injustice, they thought that this something dysfunctional relationship was going to destroy your, you know, destroy you through the second house. All right, so yeah, they just saw you expand even more, shifting into a different reality because you raised your consciousness and forgave and released resentment, because resentment blocks the flow of love. Right? We're not gonna stay in harboring resentment, because the truth, bad bitch, ain't weak or bitter. So unfortunately, somebody here, they seen you discern a dysfunctional relationship, why something wasn't working with the Libra energy, and you handle it with a lot of calmness, and you realize that, you know, this person has been concealing something was more obscure, you didn't have all of the information, and they see that you went into a different as the high priest, you jumped into a different dimension and said, well, I'm not going to let any obscurities persist and cause me to be dysfunctional and cause me to hold on to resentment, because now that I have all of the information, I can understand how it relates to my higher purpose and move, you know, keep myself well established and not go off on the deep end with some type of chaos and stuff like that. Okay, a lot of these people, they see you getting a lot of rewards and recognition. They feel like you have privileges around your beauty and your body. They feel like you don't have the same kind of you know, some of these dysfunctional people, some of these wounded children, you know, they feel like they don't have the same personal freedoms as you. They feel like they don't have the same privileges as you, and you had to discern their underlying animosity. Some of these people have been very envious of your body typing. Some of you discerned a love triangle where someone has been acting out of a lot of low self-esteem, and they have been, you know, they've been trying to act like they have had other options. They've been trying to, you know, some of these people have been resisting moving on from cycles that have closed already, where relationships were totaled. And it's because these people have just, like, you know, because they have been resisting forgiveness, they have destroyed themselves and total. I'm hearing a totality occurred because of somebody's lack of forgiveness and holding on to resentment, meaning that they don't have good beliefs. They don't value these relationships the way that you have. They don't, they don't value their resources. Okay? So you have to move away from them, and, keep yourself well established. Don't bend to someone's will. Something about, you could have eroded, dissipated because of these peoples and how poor they are through the second house. You're dealing with a lot of wounded people who don't have the same, they're right. They don't have the same privileges as you. Something about you, they feel like because of your skin color, because of your body type, because of your, something of maybe even childhood experiences, they feel like they haven't had those kind of experiences. They feel like they haven't had those kind of opportunities. But it's because they have not been open to them, right? There's love for everybody. You may not have the same opportunities as this, light-skinned, big booty, but you may have, offer of true love somewhere else. You may have, you still could have good resources and nice things, right? But it's because you haven't been feeling as if you deserve that. You're dealing with people who may be really unattractive, or they have not kept themselves well, and it's because of their low self-worth. A lot of these people, they settle for these mediocre relationships, okay, and situations because they haven't valued their personal freedom. Lack of trust, more scarcity trauma, okay, trust issues in a situation, not having enough. Some of these people have had past relationship traumas, okay. They, SMART goals. You're very smart, very well established. Stay objective and stay focused on your goals. Your goals is the higher purpose. If there's some type of delay or obstacle around that, you have to move where it is flowing. And they just saw you expand around your SMART goals. They've seen you accomplish one of your SMART goals. And become well established. What are people realizing about you, pal? 1. Yeah, the partner, right? You and this person, you guys were partners, but they could not, in your organization, you guys definitely had, come from similar natures. Something about you're like parent-child dynamic, or you guys have, similar interests, or you guys have you guys have common things. I'm hearing something about similar eating habits, or there is a degree of harmony, ease, and compatibility. But because this, someone was so, they were lacking trust because of their own, scarcity trauma from their childhood, they weren't open to exploring this relationship. But you didn't know that this person was coming from, the chaos and dysfunction. You didn't know that they were, you had to meet them with a lot of calmness when they may have been acting insane, with these trust issues. Something about these people, they were not cooperating. They were not saying yes. They have been rejecting. They have been maybe, going off into other, third parties, exploring their options elsewhere because they're so uncomfortable in this dynamic with you. I definitely suggest you watch the last collective live stream. We talk about insecurity and how it relates to scarcity trauma and how it has been eroding and dissipating and breaking this, some type of partnership, okay? Archangel Jeremiah, okay? These people are realizing some type of hopeful messages that you have been communicating for these wounded children who have been lacking trust, okay? They definitely understand. Something about your belief system. They've been trying to understand your concept of God and your religion. And, you are realizing, something about you, you are helping these people, realize what they need to change in their life, okay? Definitely crown chakra activations, third eye chakra activations. They feel like this relationship, it's not flowing because of a lack of trust, since, There's something about this partnership and alliance have become very discouraged and troubled. I don't know if this is a work reliance or a romantic one, but ultimately, this, association, where you guys have been trying to have a mutual benefit, have not been cooperating because of a lack of trust. All right, let's get the tarot and then we will wrap, friends. So what the hell to do about that, right? They see this, since, this dysfunction happened, you have been forgiving and being compassionate towards them and coming to a lot of balance, and you've been expanding around your goals, and you have stayed connected to your true nature after they may have tried to harm you or abuse you in some type of way because of a lack of trust. So let's see. Let's wrap here, friends. Pile 1. What are people realizing about you? Something where there's a chandelier over a table or a dinner table or something like that. Oh, wow. Very intense, Pile 1. Okay. We have the King of Pentacles. This may have been somebody who's been giving you a lot of money. We have the King of Wands, watching your art or watching your teaching. Okay. They see that you have a lot of students. Okay. They see that you're teaching people a lot. They see that some of you guys are teachers. They seeing you all dressed up in a suit and tie. They seeing your photographs on the wall. They're seeing your accomplishments on the wall, your achievements, accolades, certificates, degrees, and they feel like you have literally, because you come from this scarcity trauma as well, but because you've had goals in your life, you have come into this financial and economic power. They see you're this inspired and dedicated leader. Okay. They see, your star qualities. Okay, we have the Knight of Cups. I believe that is the Knight of Cups. Yeah, they're definitely, feeling inspired by you, feeling romantic and dreamy about you because of the compassion you have for them. But they seen that because of how dysfunctional and chaotic the situation is, you cannot remain under that significant stress and you have to flow elsewhere. They see that you have grown, a significant degree of emotional detachment, and you are definitely connected to this person on a soul level. Okay, they see you have been expanding, and you have been expanding this connection as well. But I also feel like, there's a lack of commitment here, or there's some type of something where this person has been struggling with moodiness and not forgiving and resenting in some type of way, because and that causes them to go explore their other options, or it causes them to go back to a karmic partner, and it causes them to not communicate, right? So that's what they're realizing, that you have been, something about you, they're realizing, what you bring into the table, and that this is a partnership of mutual benefit, and that they have not, they have these dysfunctional, wicked children have not been, they have not been bringing anything to the table, or they have something about, they're recognizing you as a true partner. But they have been, not trusting so much, but you have been showing that these, that they have not been prioritizing their interests. They have not been prioritizing their benefit. So, and it's because they have been, holding on to resentment. I definitely feel like the situation is expanding, but, we'll have to definitely stay tuned for that. Something about this situation has finally come into balance. This partnership, more Libra energy here as well. They're very discouraged and troubled, but they know that you had a vision and dream for this relationship. I don't know if this means a reconciliation. I don't know if this means, moving, what forgiveness would look like. I don't know if forgiveness is a reconciliation, but they see that you have, detached, and you've become objective about them now. because you continue to serve your higher purpose. And this is, it doesn't, you know, if they reconcile or not, it doesn't matter. Okay, I love you so much, Pile One. Let me know how that resonates down in the comments. Don't forget to check the description box to learn more about what we are doing here, our nonprofit organization that sponsors this free tarot channel. If you're interested in giving back, tips are so appreciated, donations are appreciated, but also watching the ads, staying tuned also gives back with your time. I love you, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye. Hi, Pal 2. Welcome to your selection. So you chose the Damsel. Okay. People definitely see that you have been looking in the mirror a lot, okay? They feel like you have been prone to a lot of, you know, romantic illusions. And it is, I don't think this is because of an illusion that you have been putting up. I think that this is, you know, an illusion that gaslighters, narcissists, and abusive people have been putting up. It is, I definitely feel like this is something where you are, I've been talking about a lot on our collective live streams, and it is about sacred mirroring, where people who reflect back to you light in both shadows. You have been learning the nature of a healthy relationship, a healthy romantic relationship. It starts with you, for one, being connected to the truth. An illusion is not real. Some people have been, some of these people are shape-shifting romantic partners. They are shape-shifting, and they, they have been creating a perception or some type of interpretation through a sensory experience that is not matching the reality. This could be related to how your brain is processing information, but there's definitely a misinterpretation of the sensory experience. It's a misinterpretation of the stimuli. And this has led to, some of this is quite literally a control mechanism from some of these romantic partners. They definitely, like I said, some of them are shape-shifting, and they have been trying to control you with this type of experience. But I feel like when you realize that the sensory experience or the stimulation is not matching the reality, you realize that it was misleading or false in some type of way, that, you know, things are different, you know, than things are, you know, it's appearing to be different from what it actually is. And because you know you have been prone to these type of illusions, you know, through the sensory experiences, some of you guys quite literally, you have such a big heart, and you're like this hopeless romantic, and you're just so open to everybody, and because you're so connecting, you know, through the heart center, you might, you know, these sensory experiences, they are very intense, okay? But you have been learning that an intimate relationship, a sensual experience, a passionate experience is not an indication of its success. And you've been having to take a look in the mirror. You've been having to see these people for who they truly are. Some of these people, they do possess you really bad in the beginning, right? They may offer you a lot of gifts. They may offer you a lot of financial rewards. They may provide for you, right? You know, and this is to seduce you into an illusion of their commitment, is to seduce you into needing them, into relying on them. And then when they pull that away from you, they expect you to crumble, or your establishment to crumble, or they're doing this. It's like a deliberate, some of them are deliberate disloyalty. But because you are so, something about you, you know, you end up like when they do that, you give them the middle finger and show them that you haven't been relying on them. Some of them, they were seduced by an illusion of controlling you. And because you have been, people are realizing that you rely on yourself, and that you never put your trust in somebody who remembers what? You remember what you have gone through. You remember, you know, that naive person that you used to be, you know, waiting for these people, you know, and thinking that there was a deeper relationship, thinking that there was a deeper commitment, thinking that it was true love, and understanding that those memories and those times spent didn't mean anything to them when they decided to throw it away, or they decided to do some type of deliberate disloyalty, when they decided to discard you. A narcissist, in the discard phase, when they realize that they can't control you. People are realizing that something about you may be turning an older age, something about the age of 38, and they feel like you have been finally starting to have healthy romances because you're not letting anybody control you with some type of illusion of what's going on, right? You will always get disappointed and fail and harm yourself when you rely on a sensory experience. Your physical sensation and comfort with somebody, kisses are not promises. Here today, gone tomorrow. Some of you guys literally destroyed yourself by waiting on some type of person to provide for you. Some people have even left the connection altogether, left your reality altogether, but you have been seduced by the illusion of the sensory experience, seduced by the memory of the sensory experience. The frequency of remember supports our memory of everything that we have gone through as a soul and a body, providing us with valuable information and tools to flow gracefully with and in this life. People are realizing that you never forget what you've gone through. You never forget where you come from. You understand that you are not a body, just a body for a sensory and sensual seductive experience, that you are valuable, that you are a soul, that you are independent, and not letting yourself get lost in a relationship with someone and think that this sensory and sensual experience with your body is some type of promise or commitment for a future relationship. Some of these people, especially these narcissistic ones, they intentionally try to create an illusion, shape-shifting with the sensory experience. Some of them, you may have caught them trying to do some black magic on you. You may have caught these people have been trying to seduce you and trying to possess you, but they realized that you were strong, you had strength, you had willpower, that you did not, you were not a victim of their destiny swapping and their siphoning of your beauty. Some of these people went off and chose other people and didn't give you, they went off and chose other people or ghosted you and did not give you an explanation, didn't give you closure. And you learn that all of the closure that you needed was that we had this sensory experience and now you're no longer in my reality. All the closure that you need is that person is not committed to you. That person is not in your reality. That person is not supporting you. Do not get seduced by a romantic illusion of their support. Oh, living in the past. Oh, we shared these moments, this passionate moment. Well, that didn't matter to them, did it? Right? People are realizing that even though you're this damsel, right? A lot of knights will come in and want to save you. A lot of these people will want to come in and possess you. But you have to bow to them. You have to bend to their will. A healthy romance inspires you to rely on yourself. Okay? People are realizing that you have gone through a lot in this body, right? They so obsessed with your body. They so, attached to your body, so envious of your body, so worried about your beauty and concerned about it. They don't even realize that this does not make someone value you. You are a soul in a body. You are not just a body. Okay? Some people are realizing, some of them, they may have seen you go on this transformation with your body, and now they're remembering where you came from. We're not just showing up looking good. This is a physical vessel that enshrines my soul. Comment your affirmation. I honor the physical vessel that enshrines my soul. When people realize that you're not just this body that they can mishandle, they discard you. It don't matter how you look. They want someone they can mishandle. Right? Attaching onto a beautiful, gorgeous person for their own character development. Trying to seduce them with a romantic illusion that they're ready. Seduce you with a romantic illusion that they're committed. Some of them, they get jealous of your soul in essence. And decide that they just want to use you for your body. Don't want to connect in a heart-centered way. Right? What are people realizing about you, pal? 2. Yes, the first house. So this came up in the live stream recently as well. It's the way that you have been projecting yourself. Your first house also addresses your physical body. I knew this was going to come out. This is so interesting. When they realize, something with the way that you project yourself and your body, they realize that you value your body. They realize that you rely on yourself, right? And you do it on your own because you immediately sense that they are narcissistic or that they are trying to control and possess you in a way, objectify your body. When they sense how you project yourself, it's very, like, something about the way that you project yourself is very intimidating. Something about your body is very intimidating. It's like they finally realize, unique characteristics about you, your personality, how you're projecting yourself, your image. And they feel like a lot of the way that you project yourself is related to like your male influences through the first house. I definitely feel like you have had some of these people don't realize that you've had a lot of high value partners, right? This is why they do come in. They're these knights that provide for you. You do have a lot of smart partners. You have a lot of masculines that have technical skills. They're very smart. They're highly educated. They're well established, right? And a lot of them, they do provide for you, right? And so they have these unique imprinting on you because of, how smart they are and technical they are and how they help you. They do provide for you and give you the solutions to your problems. That's what the masculine is supposed to do. The masculine is supposed to be a supportive and guiding light. The masculine is supposed to help you form your structures. So they definitely, the way you project yourself, because sometimes it can come off kind of masculine because you coming up as this damsel, right? This person who is independent and relying on themselves. You have learned this through your masculines. You have learned this through, your partners that you've had that have been handling you with care. Some of these people, they do handle you with care now. I'm definitely getting, they come in, they're very attentive to you and your needs, and they provide for you. But I'm getting a couple different ways that this can go. I'm getting some of these people, they try to seduce you with an illusion of their commitment, okay, by providing for you. And when you remind them that you are free and that you do things on your own and that you're an independent person, that really, you really don't need them, but it's nice to have them with their masculinity and their technical skills and things of that nature. They realize that they can't control and possess you, that you think for yourself, you have autonomy, and that you're not going to bow to them, okay? They have an issue with the way that you project yourself because you know how independent and empowered you really are, and that they want someone that they can control with need, right? They want to keep you needy on them. But when you gain your independence, they discard. Go to something that they can control with an illusion. I'm getting that they go to a third party, or their ex-partners are so seduced by an illusion of them. They are in a one-sided relationship. Okay, some of them people they've been beating these feminines down. These men these knights, they have been beating these feminines down because they provide for them in some type of way, or it's an illusion of providing. You know, they're doing more damage than, you know, than good ultimately. Some of them, these people have been domestic abusers. They have, you know, been harmful to the, you know, the female form, exploitive to the female form in some type of way, because of how badly they try to objectify and possess women. And you showed them that you had autonomy over yourself, that you were not going to, you rely on yourself, and that you were not going to be abused or, you know, bowing to them. It helped, you know, it helps you understand that, you know, where, you know, something is not a healthy dynamic. Okay, I hope that makes sense. Okay, so let's see, what are people realizing about you? The moon, a lot of this. Okay, you know, it could be happening on a subconscious level. These people, like I was getting, like, you know, these partners have been, you know, you end up relying on yourself. You know, you think that them providing for you is good, but it ends up being a destructive illusion, right? And you, I'm something about you getting, with the moon, you getting caught up in your imagination. And that this was like, you know, it was very dangerous. This sensory experience with somebody was very dangerous. And, you know, someone hid who they really were, you know, through a romantic illusion. Maybe, you know, you guys did have, you know, this sensual experience with one another, but, you know, you realize that this person was lazy, depressed, you know, not wanting to do anything outside of the bedroom. Something about you invited this person out to come have lunch, or you told them to come drive their motorcycle somewhere, and they didn't do that. Something about a motorcycle. Some of these people, they whisper a lot of sweet nothings, and they really love your, you know, they're obsessed with your body, right? But letting them possess you and have, you know, their way with you, you know, ultimately drags you down with like laziness and sadness. When you go around them and you're experiencing a lot of fatigue and low moods, it's because of, you know, these people, you know, something is not, you know, happening, something is happening on a subconscious level, and it is not matching the reality, right? And that brings up a lot of sadness, unfortunately. Okay, because you know, you realize that, you know, some of this, you know, quite literally could have led to a mental breakdown, right? You were seduced by an illusion of something, got dragged down by laziness and sadness because it did not match the reality, became extremely sensitive. You were put in a very dangerous situation with somebody. Something about something that it like traumatized you and impacted your DNA reproduction. It led to a mental health breakdown, some type of domestic violence. I'm hearing an injury or some type of workplace injury, or something like that, where you were not able to function or keep up with your daily demands because you got too seduced by your imagination of this person providing for you. Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. Okay, somebody was helping you in the workplace, or somebody was this boss in the workplace. A lot of people may feel some of them are realizing that that you were not independent, that you were actually in this role because, you know, this knight was providing for you. Some of them, they were doing the work for you, or they were in charge of teaching you. They did not, you know, some of them, they were literally, you were in it. This was domestic violence, especially if you were in a relationship, you know, with someone you worked with, or you were in a, you know, somebody who abused their authority, a boss. You became very sad and lazy, and this was not a representation of who you really are, or the, you know, your true capabilities in the job or something like that. Some of you guys, you started to build your own wealth and realize that you were not going to be attached to this abusive boss just because they were providing for you. They're realizing that you was just a damsel in distress and, you know, not able to do it yourself, okay? So, but you have grown since then. They feel like, you know, you are remembering this you know, you have gotten the valuable information from this situation, and how there was seduction by illusion. This person, you know, was not matching in the realities, especially if you were in a dynamic with this person that was unconventional, something where there was lacking, you know, integration into, like, you know, you have to start to discern, you know, what true commitment is. When you start, were you ever introduced to this person's family? Were you ever introduced to their friends? Did this person ever talk about, you know, future plans with you? Was this person responding? Was this person present in your reality? So you learned, you know, that this person got intimidated by the way that you projected yourself and was not really there. Okay? Okay? All of these, that is something about one particular experience, you know, and your soul has went through in your body. Some of you guys may have been struggling with the body image issue, and you may have been very detached from your physical vessel. I'm getting a lot of trauma that have detached you from your physical vessel. There's something about an issue with your nervous system and digestive issues. Certain processes and functionings in your body have declined because of an illusion or some type of traumatic experience where there was injury. Okay? Extreme sadness, mental, you know, depression. Okay? Something where this person, you had, you know, something that they call PTSD, or, you know, there's a lot of, you know, there's a lot here. Okay? Because of this illusion that people will try, that these romantic partners have tried to put up, and you're like, I'm not going to do that because I know that previously, you know, I'm not going to just, if I'm going to make sure the sensory experience is matching the, you know, realities. And if somebody is not showing up, you know, that's not healthy. And I, you know, realized that person was just using me for my body, or that person was doing something, you know, something obscure, something that I didn't discern, something that I didn't have all the information with, something where you started to realize that these people were lazy and sad themselves, and they hid who they really were, and they were just intimidated by you. You know, some of them were intimidated by you trying to rely on yourself. They saw you trying to learn on your own. They saw you trying to grow on your own. They saw you trying to study the materials on your own, trying to do things on your own. And this intimidated them because they realized that you had, you know, a way of thinking for yourself. You're not understanding that, you know, these, especially if you had a traumatic experience with one of these partners, how that affected your health real bad. And you're like, okay, I'm not going to keep letting, you know, these, you know, seduction to harm me and my body again. Okay? So let's keep going. What are people realizing about you, pal, too? Blissed out. Happy as hell now. What? Totally delighted. Unfazed. Okay? People are realizing that after, you know, something about you dealing with some type of extreme sensitivity, coming into reality and being happy as hell in your new realities. Like, ain't no problem with your reality. Why you was in an illusion, trying to escape reality and stuff like that? All that escapism and maladaptive daydreaming you was doing with these people because of a sensory sensual experience. You're like, if we not blissed out, going to concerts, going out to eat, if we ain't going on roller coasters, if we not shopping together, if we not, you know, having sleepovers, if we not doing all that, we ain't in bliss. Right? That means that is just a unfulfilling relationship, a shadow attachment that isn't fulfilling. You are learning what bliss is in your relationship. Some of you guys are experiencing bliss with a new partner now. Some of them, they see you very happy with your new partner. They see y'all having fun together. They see y'all going out together. They see y'all sharing music together. They see y'all having a lot of different events and things together. You meeting family together. I'm hearing doctor visits together. You know, going on different adventures together, going shopping together. You are learning that a healthy relationship is someone who is present. Okay. People are realizing that you have a healthy relationship now. Some of that, ooh, that's not good, friends. They feel like after being dragged by these partners who just maybe wanted to use you for your body, or they wanted to possess and control you, and when they realized they couldn't do that, and that you were connected to the truth of the situation, some of these people, they, you know, they try to act like they're committed. They're trying to act like they in love or something like that, and then you're like, wait, well, you're not really acting like you in love. So yes, part 2. I definitely feel like you have learned a lot of, you know, intense lessons around these relationships, and understanding, you know, everything is not always as it seems, okay? I feel like they definitely help you understand your true nature. So let's get back into it. What are people realizing about you? I definitely feel like this may be involving, you know, these partners who may have abandoned you or stopped providing for you after they realized that you would not bow to them, after you realized that it was a romantic illusion. And then they seen you immediately rely on yourself. They see you immediately do for yourself. They see that you did not stop taking care of yourself. They see that you did not miss a beat. A lot of them, they sat back and tried to watch you fail. They thought that them taking away like not providing for you, they thought that that would like that you would be taking an L. Like they literally, some of them, they knew that something was time sensitive, or they knew that it was an emergency, and they sat back and tried to watch how it would impact you. They wanted to watch you struggle, since you're so independent. Go and do it yourself, right? You know, but it shows that they didn't really have the correct intentions to begin with, right? You didn't really want to provide because you were a good person, you know, or that this was a healthy relationship. You wanted to provide so that you can keep me needy, so that you can mishandle me, you have your way with me, control me, abuse me, right? Pluto, shadow and mysticism. Okay, so these people are very obsessed. So these are, I definitely feel like these are not positive people who are realizing about you. You know, these are, you know, an Aries here. Somebody here is very, they keep calling you, or, you know, you're not responding to them. You've never, some of them, you never had a relationship with them. Or you have been, these people were trying to like, I don't know. They saw, with this Pluto energy, they saw you transform real. And look what I say, black magic. Like, what did I say? Some of these knights were trying to possess you and do like black magic on you to keep you entangled with them. Something about them fondling your breast, or doing something to your like stomach, or like they've been trying to like do something, hypnosis or something like that. You saw them, you heard them reciting something, or doing some type of energy manipulation, shape-shifting, okay? So I definitely feel like once you realize that this was an illusion, you knew that it was not for you. And I feel like, you know, through mysticism, you probably were able to discern this situation and see their shadow aspects. And it was a major transformation, major endings. These were not just simple relationships, you know, especially as the damsel. They forced you through this transformation to rely on yourself, and they've seen that you literally have been blissed out since then. If you have a new partner, they're seeing you happy as hell with them, doing things together, going out to eat, traveling, going to different hotels with each other, or something like that. Okay, so they wanted to see you sad and dragged down by a challenge of not being provided for, okay? Commercialization. They're watching you online, okay? They're watching you move into your commercialization of yourself. They watched you fix something. You know, you may have fixed this relationship. This is the fixed modality, but they may have watched you fix. You may have fixed a relationship with, you know, and, you know, by sending them something about you. You know, what does Nikki say on that song? Told him to, what did she say? Told him to download Tidal so he stream me when he leave me. Like, he streamed me when he leave me. something like that. And I'm hearing that you're like, we're not even going to fight, argue about you trying to possess me with an illusion. You just, because you're trying to hide something or something like that. And then, you know, something where you just like, okay, go stream me so that you can fix yourself or something like that. So that I could teach you about what's going on and I don't have to work too hard and I don't have to struggle in a communication, whatever. I'm also getting them, some of them, they left you and then you made them watch a commercial of you that went viral. Okay, something where you made them watch you go viral, or they watched you come into prominence and commercialize yourself and, you know, come into, like, literally win. They thought that they thought that you was going to be taking the loss. They thought, friends, they thought that you was going to be taking this loss. Okay, what happened? Hold on, before I finish getting those. Oh my goodness, they thought that you was going to be grief-stricken down and out because something about them, they know that you're like in a survival state, right? Creation energy, of course, right? And then we have trickery on the bottom of the deck. These people wanted to, like, something where they may have even wanted to trick you or something like that, where they like may have made a promise and then at the last minute they failed through and they thought that this was going to destabilize you or stop your creation. Because some of them, they knew that you were a creator. They knew that you were going commercial in some type of way. They knew that you had, that you know, that you're blissed out when you're not with them, that you're independent. Like, you showed them that you didn't need them. You showed them that you were independent. It's something about a Leo's, especially like a Leo, Taurus, Scorpio, Aquarius. Some of these, like, I'm getting that there's some of y'all got a theme around these fixed modalities. Maybe these are literally signs that you dated. Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, Aquarius. I'm getting a lot of masculines that were very egoic, and you guys had a lot of like sensory relationships with them, and they were like, you know, you were trying to maintain this healthy romance by staying independent, and they got offended when you were off working on your commercials. They got offended when you were off, you know, taking care of yourself. They were started to feel neglected, or they had like some type of excessive feelings of hurt, and you know, you were just like, it's because you don't like Neptune illusion. It's because you don't have any creation energy, that you don't, you know, that you don't understand the nature of a healthy romance. You just want to possess me for your own selfish desire. We have divine timing. Yeah, like something about you. Oh my God, like you, like these, I'm hearing that something divinely was timed, and like they tried to stop your flow of creation. They tried to stop you from, you know, they tried to stop you from, and like with an illusion, and they may have left and tried to hold a mystery, and then you showed them that you have, you know, spirituality, or you showed something about them. You showed that you were connected to them, and you were tapped into this situation. And I'm hearing something about you knew the whole operation, been bugged a bitch, like something about y'all really, you knew that this person was trying to put up some type of illusion. Some of them, they left you stranded, or they tried to leave you without closure, and you just use your spirituality to like free yourself from this illusion. Some of them, they knew that you were fashionable and that you were glamorous, and they knew that you know, something about you may have been blissed out with these people. You have been in a trance under drugs or alcohol perhaps, and you may have been more prone to this sensory experience because, you know, through this like use of drugs or something, like it created some type of, it heightened your sensual experience, and then you showed them that you were highly meditated in this piece, or you were very tapped into these illusions, and you let them know that you were very spiritually strapped in this bitch, and that you're a spiritual gangster, and that they could not try to destabilize you with some type of trickery that they tried to put on. These people were really upset that you were independent, okay? And now you literally forced them to watch your commercialization. You forced them to watch you doing well, and then it kind of is like, you know, they sit there and have to dream about you, like the same type of romantic illusion they try to persist or try to put up. You like solve the mystery, and then they're sitting there watching you for the rest of their lives, seduced by their dream of having you in this this way. Something about them, they realize, you know, that they missed out on a dream. They missed out on a healthy romance, and you ultimately end up solving their mystery and using it for your personal betterment. You use it to create, and these situations were like divinely timed for you to solve these mysteries. Like, you keep getting insights, and it keeps fueling your creation, and they just see you so happy and not obstructed by this illusory thing that they try to keep like as a mystery, and try to like obstruct you from having closure and a peace of mind. They really want to like stop you from having a peace of mind with the ghosting or some type of behavior that's more obscure. Some of these people, they have been doing something hidden in the environment, and you tapped into them with the moon. You tapped into them on a subconscious level, and then you get the truth, you friends. You get the truth, and you literally like like something where you hit them with a PS, you lost, or a PS like you thought that you won. You thought that this illusion was going to persist. You thought that I wasn't going to have my closure after this sensory and sensual experience, right? Usually these experiences can be kind of intense. Some of you guys do experience bliss with one another, but they are offended with through the first house of how you project yourself, and you immediately start relying on yourself when you realize that they try to stop providing for you. If they have any hint of like change behavior, you're very tapped into their behavior. Like, you can discern that they will like reflect back shadow aspects, or something like that. You realize that it's like they're delusional in some type of way. Some of them, you knew that they were delusional, and you knew that they would do something that was like, you kind of already knew from the jump that they were not like aware. And when they realize that you think abstractly, you think outside of the box, like I always say this, people do not like intelligence. They don't like deep thinkers. When they realize that you're a deep thinker, and that you have dreams and desires, and you know who you are, they realize that you have creation energy. They realize that you have personal power. So they think that them taking away their support and they're providing for you is going to stop you from bettering yourself. But then you realize that, you know, you're providing, you know, in that same breath with this divine timing, you realize that your providing was not a representation of your true love. It was a representation of you trying to harness me and possess me, right? Very wild, right? Very wild. And then they sit back and watch you for the rest of their life, okay? So what are people realizing about you? Let's rock, friends, okay? Some of these relationships you did fix. I'm not going to say you did not. Some of these relationships you did fix, because some of these people were just struggling with, you know, not having a higher consciousness, projecting their issues. You know, so it's not, some of them, it's not because they didn't love you. Some of it is because they did something negative, because they were projecting and hurt about something, okay? For others, they intentionally try to cause an illusion or hurt you, you know, have a deliberate, you know, betray you in a deliberate way. Or, you know, some of them, they realized that you were, you know, they knew that you were independent from the jump, and they wanted to, something about them when they realized your beliefs or something like that. Or your way of thinking. They realized that you were smarter than them, and they grew aggressive, okay? It's like they could never get anything past you from the beginning, okay? So now they sit and watch your commercial, okay? You're like, I'll show you an illusion. Watch my commercial. That's the illusion. You'll never get to know the true me. You want to know you want to know how I do it? Something about you, they're watching you online, and they feel like it's so much mystery around you. What are these people realizing? That's very interesting. They feel like some of them, they feel like something that you're doing is illusory. So let's see. I'm hearing, you know, takes one to know one, friends. Okay, the high priestess. Oh my God, they like, okay, you the high priestess. We played death, and this was like once you like knew the truth, they knew, like, people are realizing that you have been very equipped with handling them. Like, you knew how to handle these people from the jump. That's what I'm hearing. I'm hearing that you handled them with so much grace, and when, like, you're very aware. Okay, you got support from the divine. You have this rapport with the divine, and you have, you know, information, valuable information and tools. And they felt like you were going to stop flowing gracefully, you know, with your creation energy and cause an ending, but they realized that the ending happened for them. I'm hearing the tables have turned. Some of them, I'm hearing that when they realized that you were the high priestess, a Leo, they realized that they could not keep a mystery. They thought that they were going to, like, they thought they were going to, that you were going to have an unsolved mystery or something like that. They thought that you were not going to have closure. They fumbled real bad. I'm hearing the truth came out about these people. I'm hearing, oh my God, this Leo. The people who ghosted, it was especially bad, okay? We have the Two of Wands, right? So I definitely feel like there is transformation in this situation. For a lot of you guys, you did fix this situation, but you are not sure if you want to move forward after this. I definitely feel like, you know, a lot of these people, they thought that they could come back, but, you know, they didn't. After doing this, after fixing the relationship with the high, you know, after you being the high priest, you made them watch your commercials and heal themselves. And a lot of them do want to come back. They definitely have transformed, but I don't feel like these people actually started planning or have any idea what to do. Okay, clarifying the Two of Wands. What are these people realizing about you? It's not really about them. Let me see. Temperance. Okay, they feel like, you know, after doing this, right, with the Eight of Swords, they were not aware. Okay, something where someone saw you at a bath sink, or they saw, you know, something, they saw you in front of a mirror, okay, a Taurus or something like that. They feel like, you know, since solving the mystery, you've been tempering about their behavior and their true intentions, and you've been using your spirituality to help you, you know, create and to focus on yourself and to manage your emotions about the situation. Because this was like, I'm definitely getting that this ending, some of you, it was a massive ending. It was a shocking ending. Some of them, they wanted to shock you and leave you as a damsel in distress. Okay, and some of them, they stopped answering, stopped responding. They went MIA. They did not have, right, they did not want to support you through some type of, you know, unstable emotional situation that was created. But you were very fluid, and you use your, like, you gained the awareness around them anyway with the High Priestess. Tell me about the Death, please. Lots of major arcana, okay? Tell me about the Death. Yeah, Wheel of Fortune. Some of these people were cool. Some of them, when they saw that you were an excellent leader, it tempered them. They were like, okay, you're not this. I don't know what I thought you was. But these people, they really did something negative, and they really were, like, disgusting. Okay, I'm hearing somebody's name that starts with the letter B, a letter W, N, a letter P, R, Q, O, E. They really had not been aware of something, you know, that they were projecting that was going on a subconscious level. But when you showed them your commercialization, when you showed them how great of a leader you are, how, you know, it is your responsibility to stay independent. It is your responsibility to, some of you, it is your responsibility to break illusions, okay? Something about you, you're like, I'm a truth bearer. I'm the High Priestess. I have to bring this truth, right? Some of you, they saw you with two puffs on top of your head or something like that. You realize that a lot of these, you know, a lot of these people are karmic, and they have no follow through, okay? So, you know, this relationship was destroyed by a lack of trust or something like that, or, you know, this person's ego. Okay, that's what I'm saying, friends, right? They don't ultimately, you know, we have the Magician in the reverse. They you know, what this showing you is that they don't have everything that you need, and that a lot of you, this Magician in the reverse could also represent, you know, an energy manipulator, people who were doing black magic for real, for real. Somebody, also people who, you know, they weren't ready, right? They weren't ready, and they tried to project onto you instead of taking responsibility for their own actions. Okay, that's what I'm saying about the realization, friends. And let me know how that resonates, and I'll see you in the next one. Check the description box for all the ways to get in touch and how to give back. All of the proceeds from our channel, including all the ads that you watch, all of the shopping that you're doing at Cosmic Intelligence, donations are so super appreciated. All of that goes back to our nonprofit organization, Divas Can Manifest. Let me know how this resonates. I appreciate you so much. It was my honor to read your energy, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye. Excuse me. Hi, Pal 3. Welcome to your selection. So you chose the vampire. So I definitely am getting that people are realizing that you have an energy vampire. There is somebody who has been, impacting your mood and motivation at an energetic and subconscious level. People have not understood that you have been struggling with these kind of psychic attacks, or people who have been draining you and your life force for their psychic survival. People are realize that somebody has been chronically obsessed with you. They have been very codependent on you and complaining about you a lot. So some of you guys, if you have been like, something about you guys may have recognition, some type of stardom. I'm hearing dance stars, or stars in movement, something about you. People have been realizing that you do have like this artistry, this life force about you. They realize that you have, maybe even you guys have, you've had a vision for yourself that you haven't been able to fulfill because of some energy vampire that has been chronically complaining and codependent on you. So people have been extending you. If you have not established yourself, or you felt like, something has, people have been noticing that you haven't been motivated to fulfill things, that you haven't been, excelling or achieving and actualizing your true potential. They're extending you a lot of compassion because they're realizing that these energy vampires have been disconnecting you from your life force and draining you for their psychic survival. I definitely feel like this realization actually put an end to this energy vampire, and you guys are feeling so much better now that the truth is out. But I definitely sense that there has been, a struggle with an energy vampire. There has been someone who has been so connected to you because they've known that you've had a vision for yourself. Somebody's name starts with the letter P, C, B, or R, E, okay, W, N, something about the color red. Something about the truth may have come out for, about this person, and they see that you have the reason why you haven't been yourself, or, something people are noticing a difference about you. They're like, you're not being yourself lately, or, something about you have gone into a survival mode because of these people have been just draining you so much. And you haven't been able to fulfill and establish yourself because of these people who have been around you. Some of you guys, you have been conforming and adopting traditional customs and ways of doing things because you have been so worried about something about people, their perception of you, and something, I would like to say this. I hope this is not getting too, I'm not off kilter here, but it feels like there has been an issue, with you maybe getting attacked by unseen forces, or maybe you have, known about these, energy vampires but you haven't been able to do anything about them because people are getting away with, a secret competition, or people have been doing something, coming around with hidden motives, or having, unseen forces that have been involved in you, and draining your life force and stopping you from establishing yourself. Some of you guys are beautiful, artists and super intelligent people and great at doing the things that you're doing. And it's not that people are, maybe you have been declining or decelerating because people have not been understanding that your mood and motivation has been getting impacted by someone who's been obsessively codependent on you. You have always been one step ahead of these people, but it's something, I don't think, understanding an energy vampire is, or learning that, as you take one step forward, somebody else is right behind you trying to take the same step. This drains you. This disconnects you from your life force, because when you see someone mimicking or trying to stop you from becoming well established by stealing aspects of your, from your foundation, stealing aspects of your creativity, it can impact you on this subconscious level, energetic levels, right? You think, oh, okay, we don't care, we're still the best, right? No, at the end of the day, people stealing from you and stopping you from being this unique and creative being that you are, it drains you, and it prevents you from fulfilling and like truly seeing your vision, if that makes sense. So people have been definitely noticing that you have had this person that has been attached to you and have been, stopping your fullest expression of yourself. Some of you guys, you thought you had to walk on eggshells, or you've been hesitant about taking certain actions so that you won't step on other people's toes. So this has put you, some of you guys are dimming your light because, it's making these energy vampires uncomfortable. So you are learning. I'm getting that people are definitely realizing that, you have not been, fulfilling and, being, your 10 out of 10 usual self, because somebody has been trying to disconnect you from your vision, seeing where you're going. Only you know where you're going, and people have noticed that you have somehow, even if you've felt like you had to conform to certain things, or, to get support, or to get the help that you need, you've had to dim yourself in a way. People are starting to realize and appreciate you for being this pioneer, for being this person that's going in a direction that no one else has. People notice this. These energy vampires, the reason why they attach onto you is because they want to go where you're going so bad. They want to have everything that you have. And this is so draining to your life force, because your true desire is to, right, fulfill, your passions for doing and creating what has not been done before. So, but instead of being able to do that and establish yourself and be honored for that, there's been someone who has been chronically complaining about you, trying to ruin your reputation, lying, stealing, and creating a lot of disharmony and divisions in a community, in a network. When they've really been very codependent on you, trying to be in tandem and in step with you and where you're going, because they're clearly not this pioneer. They're clearly not this creator like you are. You are a beautiful creator, and somehow, people have realized that you've lost step, that you've lost your vision, that you've lost your way in some type of way. People have noticed that you have closed yourself off, or you've been, not as passionate as you usually are, because of these people who have been impacting your mood and motivation. These people who have been attached to you and affecting you on a subconscious and energetic level and stopping you from seeing where you're going. People are now realizing this energy vampire and that they've been depleting you. And now, now that the truth is out, you can finally be restored, friend. Okay? But somehow, you are getting preserved. There's a saving grace here, because of all of the work that you've done in this network, all of the work that you've done in this niche, in this creative field, or wherever you are. People have always realized that how gifted you are. You are extremely gifted. So instead of conforming to what is done, pioneer in a new direction. Pioneer and do something that has not been done before. Someone has been here helping you preserve yourself. Someone here has been helping you, been in tandem with you and helping, to restore your life force. So everything will be okay, because people don't really understand, they're finally starting to understand the impact of this energy vampire and how it's been stopping you from staying, from establishing yourself and preserving yourself. Okay, I'm getting emotional because this feels like you have been getting bogged down by these energy vampires. There's so many people that are so envious of your life, your artistry, and your skills, your gifts, how gifted you are, friend. You are so beautiful inside and out. You may have flaws and things like that, but you are so beautiful. Okay? And you haven't been yourself. Something about, people are realizing you haven't been yourself. And this has like created some type of, optical illusion, and it's making, people don't know what to make of this. They don't really know what's going on. But now that the truth is out about this person, a lot of people, they get caught up in this chronic complaining as gossip. A lot of people have been getting caught up in these negative perceptions that this person has been trying to persist. Something where people have been trying to steal your artistry so that you can't establish yourself and preserve yourself. Instead, because they know how prosperous you are, friend. Okay, you're very prosperous. So, but it's all right. We are okay, right? The truth is out about this energy vampire. They can no longer drain you for their psychic survival, okay? What are people realizing about you? Now that the truth is out about this vampire, they're like, okay, Pal 3 is the prosperous one. You see how Pal 3 has all these different things that makes their body, mind, heart, and soul sing with joy? Okay. Something about you guys, you had a lot of different, it's something about you that you were good, you were talented and gifted at multiple things. And you're coming around a group of people who are doing something, they may have one or two of the same interests as you. Or their heart is not in the thing the way that your heart has been in it. People have noticed that you have been the one that have had all of the passion. You have been the one that have been singing with joy and celebrating this abundance and the riches. And it's because of your beautiful philosophies, and they can see that this, this prosperity and this inclusion of everything that you love. Something about people have noticed that you have fallen off from doing the things, that you love, because of these energy vampires impacting your mood and motivation. Something about you, you are starting to feel prosperous again and starting to feel your well-being as this energy vampire lifts up off of you. And you can start celebrating, all of your different interests again. Preserve, the expression of yourself, because you are the one who did it first, is what I'm hearing. You are the one that did it first. All of these people, all these energy vampires who have been attached onto you, trying to copy every step that you take, have been trying to steal your vision, trying to see if they can take it and make it pop first. Trying to steal your wealth and prosperity. Attacking you, stealing your soul and your aura, because they're so obsessed and delusional. People have been realizing that the reason that you have been disconnected from your interests, the reason that you have been apathetic about your life, not wanting to do the things that you usually are doing, because of how they have been attacking your passion for doing and creating what has not been done before. These people think that they're the pioneer. They think that they are, they're delusional, right? Coming to steal from you, copycatting, and, pretending that you're an enemy. You are unique. You are not meant to conform to them. Do everything that your heart desires, because these people, they're doing these things, but their heart is not truly in it. People have noticed that you have been the one that has worked so hard, especially my dancers. They have realized that you have been, the reason why you're so good at this. You have the best flow. You have the best cadence. You have the most talent. They see that your flexibility is the best. You look the best. Your body transformation. These other people, they just come around and do this thing for an aesthetic. They come around and they do this thing to perpetuate some type of illusion, when they're really, they don't have any real joy in it. They're not really abundant within it. They're doing it for clout. Somebody's name that starts with letter B, H. People are realizing that your prosperity, the reason why you have so much wealth and prosperity and everything that they see around you, you love it so much. They feel like it involves your philosophies of life, right? They see you do things in a big way. Some of you, they seen you go viral. They seen you do, celebrate your prosperity, them, seeing the inclusion of everything that you love, and them, doing it in a big way, right? It helps you, it connect, like you are building all of these different interests and hobbies to, support, to create structure and security in your life. But there's been someone who has been so, attracted to your prosperity, your artistry, seeing how good you look and how hard you worked for this, and it pisses them off. And you've learned that, something about you have grown apathetic, or you've stopped, indulging, you stop celebrating your interests, you stop doing the things that you love, stop dancing, stop playing, stop dressing up, because of this person who's been chronically complaining and codependent on you. And this is like such a huge burden on you. They want to stop you from being prosperous. Do not stop celebrating your interests because somebody keeps trying to stay in step with you. They can't stay in step with you. They don't love it the way that you do. They just want to attach onto you. They just want to attach onto it to ride your wave. To seem like they're doing the same things as you when they're really a lame. P, B, C, a lame. Big ones. Complaining about you like you've done something to them when you were the one that did it first. And they trying to sit up and act like it's something that they did. These people can't do anything on their own. They keep trying every time, like they stalking you morning, noon, and night to see how you're putting everything together so they can try to put it together the same way. You can't put anything together on your own. You're a loser. These people, they are realizing these losers. They did not get away with this. Virgo. I'm so sorry that you guys have been dealing with this energy vampire because they really have been attacking your sense of prosperity. Keep manifesting your prosperity. Keep inviting, the inclusion of everything that you love. Just because you haven't had enough motivation and resource to make it all come together. They have been, benefiting from that. They've been benefiting, trying to take an advantage of you not having everything that you need to establish yourself at work or something like that. These people are not very innovative. The way you put everything together, they see that you've done it, very artistically. And they've been obsessive. Friend. You didn't even know you was going through all that. What did I say about your body? Something about you grew a big bottom or something like that. People were not expecting your body to look like this. Some of you were very slim before and you became thicker than a Snicker. For others, you were, you transformed this, obesity or, an unhealthy body image. Some of them, they see you with tattoos and they see your body just as a work of art. These people have not been thriving in their organizations either. So, this is why they so obsessed with you and everything that you're doing. Okay? What are people realizing about you, Power 3? That's so, annoying and draining. People, instead of they're not innovative. So they see your innovation, is very prosperous because you've included everything that you love. These people, they don't love anything. They're not innovative. They don't know how to put everything that they love together the way that you do. But you have this body work that you've done on yourself, this transformation of some of your deep insecurities, right? How hardworking you've been. You are the most hardworking. We can tell. We can tell that you're just you're upper echelon. But somehow you have been getting eroded and decelerating because of these energy vampires. It was not ever your fault. It's because you got disconnected from your life force. You got disconnected from your vision. Trying to keep up your routines. Haven't been able to keep up your routines because of these people making you so irritated. Because they just won't leave you alone and find their own prosperity. Stop trying to steal somebody else's wealth, you piss poor idiot. All on the internet trying to put up an illusion. Nowadays, some of them, they come to a complete standstill. People stop supporting them. Realizing that they never had the true pleasure. They see you traveling and moving around, right? Trying to get away from this energy vampire. The Lilith. This body work that you did on yourself, they realize that you have become a destructive, wild feminine on the loose. And you've been very hardworking, right? Very hardworking. So it's okay. Everything is good. It's okay now. Keep working on yourself and your body. They see you keep looking better and better. They see that you have been perfecting yourself. Some of you guys are getting braces. Some of you guys are learning how to dress your physical body, looking good. Okay. dressing up your vessel, things like that. Making yourself thriving, right? They see you thriving. And this is destroying these energy vampires, okay? They can't, you may have had to conceal certain things. You did take a period away, you know, maybe because they have been so attached to your routine, trying to keep up the same routine, friends. They've been so, they've been wanting to, attack your work so bad because of the way that you're so good at this. You're a star. We know that you're everybody's favorite. You find so much pleasure in all the details of your work. And somehow you've grown apathetic because these idiots have been, draining you. Impacting your mood and motivation. But your body work destroyed them. Sitting up looking like a whole fool. Looking popped. Okay? And it's bittersweet. Some of them, these people were friends. People you cared about. Okay? Some of them, they were body shaming you in the past. And when you did this body work, started looking good, you're like, well, it don't even matter no more. It's bittersweet. Keep, before you, now that you're so prosperous, you have to, in order to protect yourself from people who want to steal your, vision, keep planning. Don't be popping out with nothing and that you cannot maintain. Don't share your schedule. Do not share your routine. But you have an obligation to this work. And we've always known that, right? But now people have been realizing that the reason why you haven't been able to establish yourself and fulfill on your obligation is because somebody here has been trying to get in the way of you doing this in a big way through the ninth house. Now you're going, now you're big now. Something about you destroyed them with your body. Somebody was very envious of your body, okay? Archangel Raziel. What? You're the trendsetter. These people, right? They draining you for they in step with everything that you do. Just take it as that you don't want to set in the trends, honey. But the way that you preserve yourself is most important. Protect your organization. Protect what you have established. Protect your innovation. Nobody else did it like you. You're everybody's favorite. But you are growing stronger. People are realizing through Archangel Raziel that a secret that has come to light about this energy vampire. They have been, lying. They literally, something about the truth of their lies came out. Okay, somebody may have helped you with this. Some, you got the clairvoyance, right? You put the vision in their mind and let them know we're not going to persist with no optical illusion with somebody who's just jealous of my innovation and my trend setting and my body. All right? Archangel Haniel. People are mad at your joy, friend. Okay? They mad because you was having so much fun. They saw you having fun. 1 to 3 weeks, another fulfillment is coming in for you. Right? And it's going to bring you, standing on the sun. Okay? Here comes the sun. Do-do-do-do. Right? You are the sun. Right? Your ego, your personality, yourself, all of these things that make you unique have set you as the trend. Right? It's okay if people don't know that you don't, that you were the one that set the trend, but make sure that, the people who are following these trends, they can't establish nothing with your shit. Friend, they can't. Please make sure you stay established. But there's someone here that has been helping you meet your everyday challenges. There's somebody here that's going to preserve you. Okay, friend? I love that. Let's get the tarot to wrap. Stay hardworking. Stay organized. Keep up with your routine. Do not let any of these, keep including everything that you love. Why did you stop doing the things that you love to do? Okay? Now that this cycle is over with this energy vampire, everybody realized the truth is out. The secret is out with Archangel Raziel. And now you're starting to find fulfillment again. You're starting to be happy again. Friend, I knew everybody was attacking you because of how good you are, okay? They just boring, irritated, and just want to follow the trends, honey, let them follow it. But you make sure you establish and let them know you ain't going nowhere, and we won't ever forget you. All right, I love you so much. Let's wrap, friends. What are people realizing about you? Oh, I'm getting emotional because they have literally been responsible. They have literally been responsible for a psychic block, that you haven't been able to, complete things. You haven't been able to, you've been getting chaotic because of these energy vampires, okay? So, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay. You are, first, restore your joy and keep feeling prosperous and including everything. Something about you making people notice that you lost interest in the things that you love because you haven't been able to fully express them. Okay? Something about people noticing that you don't want to show off your body anymore. You don't want to, you don't feel comfortable because all of these energy vampires have been so envious of you. All of these people in this group that you're associated with, some type of group that you're associated with, network, workplace, they've been like obsessed with you and stalking you, and you can't even feel comfortable. Something about you, something about you having with this body work, having a physical reaction to people, wearing a lot of baggy clothes, or not feeling like you want to be around, right? Getting very sensitive to people, not able to find fulfillment or not being able to fully express yourself, and dimming your light because all these people have been chronically complaining about you existing and how good you look and all these things you worked hard for. You deserve to, express yourself. You deserve to have prosperity. You are free. People don't even understand how destructive these energy vampires are to a person's mood and motivation. Can't even be free and artistic because they're not innovative and abundant. How is it somebody else's fault that you're lame? P, B, C. Ain't our fault that our body look good. It ain't our fault that we worked hard for this body. Come on now, please. What are people realizing about you, right? The Star in the reverse. The Nine of Pentacles reversed, right? The High Priestess. Archangel Raziel. Revealing her holy secrets. ESP growing stronger. This person, the Nine of Pentacles, that have been codependent on you, has been making you super moody and unmotivated, causing you to lack hope and faith. People have realized with the Star that you have, you are usually the star, but you have been diminishing, decelerating, eroding, not being, not embracing your star-like qualities because of these people who have been codependent on you. The truth is out, friend. You are free from these people. It's bittersweet, moody, indecisive. Unfortunate people who have just been trying to obsess with your every move because they know that your life path involves prosperity. All right? Thank you so much, Pal 3. Let me know how this resonates. The truth is out, right? They can no longer drain you for their survival. If they trying to, hide behind some type of gossip or cattiness, that is no longer working. All right? Don't forget to check the description box for all, current updates in our organization, what's going on, how you can give back. Thank you for watching all the ads on the channel. All of the proceeds from Cosmic Intelligence, our spiritual community shop, as well as any tips are super appreciated. They all go back to our nonprofit organization. I love you. Let me know how this resonates. It was my honor to read your energy, and I'll see you in the next one. Hi, Pal 4. Welcome to your selection. So you chose the artist, all right? So you guys, you represent the few, okay? You like few. You have a talent. You are very talented, gifted, and beautiful. The way that you express life, it's very intimidating to people. So people have been realizing that you are this artist, and you are very sensitive, and people, are realizing that this is this artistry that you have and your ability to see life, beyond the mundane, beyond convention, and create something beautiful for yourself that is soulful. It is it's very intimidating. Okay, your artwork is very intimidating because of how good you are. There are going to be people who are going to come around you, and they may applaud your artwork. They may see you as very talented and beautiful and smart and things like that. But there is always going to be some underlying animosity because of how intimidated this makes people feel, because they're not as tapped into it as the way that you are. Okay. So something about people are, they're trying to calculate your abundance. Something about people, they're enrolled in rudimentary math 1, 2, 3, and but so they're not understand that the math is very much so mathing. Okay, they just can't put it together because they're rudimentary and they're intimidated by it. People have been realizing that you may be a starving artist, or but they feel like you are very serious within this artistry, and they are intimidated that you're so serious about this. Some of them, they feel like you have been mean to people, because when people see you as this artist, they're extremely intimidated by it. Like, it's like they feel like people are realizing, and what they feel like that they feel like this is a, like, you mistreat these people, because it's not like they see it as like a mistreatment, or you clapping back or something like that. But I really feel like they're not recognizing that a lot of people who are viewing your artistry, they have an underlying animosity. People are, they definitely see, some of them, they feel like they're realizing that you are not a starving artist. Some of them, they thought that you were, they thought that you were poor, or they thought that you didn't have anything, or they had some type of, negative perception. They were very wrong about you. Okay, and now they trying to, like, something about these people, they just want to keep. They were wrong about some type of assumption that they made about you, but they keep trying to persist some type of negative perception. I don't know. It's like, they're like, okay, they're not this starving artist. They're abundant. But, we still think that they're mean or something like that. I don't know if that makes sense. But I definitely feel like people are just like, it's like you have started to, like, that people are going to hate you because of how good you are. And it's annoying. It's like, kind of like, what I always compare it to? I always feel like, you had to, like, and look on the bottom of that, discernment. So, I just don't think that people are, as this artist and this talent that you are, people are just not realizing how irritating this is. And even if it's like not, maybe they just see you being, standoffish. Maybe they just see you, mistreating them, or, literally clapping back. I'm hearing you roasting people, you dragging them, you reading them for filth. And they feel like this is because they feel like, oh, you are, you're mistreating others because you're so talented. No, others are obsessed with us because we're so talented, pal. Like, that's what they're not like acknowledging, right? And it's always the talented pretty person's fault. It's always like, you are the one that gets all the slack. And it's like people will try to villainize you for being a talent. Okay, so people will try to villainize you for having this talent. And a lot of people will try to obscure their underlying animosity and their envy and their intimidation behind, you know, like these defense mechanisms and trying to partake in harmful gossip and trying to like maybe even destroy something for you. So, you know, they may just see you, you know, mistreating people, but they don't know that, you know, that these people, you know, they've been trying to do this to like elicit pity. Okay, some of these people, you're like, you know, you're like, okay, we don't have, you know, passion, you know, we don't have, you know, we're not going to be overly sympathetic for people who are not as, you know, fortunate as us, people who are weaker than us. It's not our fault, friends. Power 4, it's not your fault that you have the talent. It's that, and if they see you mistreating somebody, it's probably because they deserve it. Now, I don't want to say that they do deserve it. At the end of the day, you know that people are going to become intimidated. Like but I feel like they need to, you know, give you some grace as well, because some of you guys are still getting used to having all this attention on your talent and body, and people just, you feel like, you know, you can't have a moment to yourself. If you guys are stars, it's like you really cannot have like a moment to yourself. Like you can't walk around, or you can, I'm hearing that song, I can't even roll in peace. Everybody notice me. Something about you. You can't fly under the radar. You get so much attention, you know, everywhere you go because of your talent and your, you know, how, you know, people just can notice that you're different, and your aura is so, you know, striking to people. So, you know, that's what I'm seeing right now, right? You're very passionate, and most people are passionless. And that is a part of them, you know, being conventional, weak, and misfortunate. You express life at a different dimension so that you can, and you find so much passion at seeing things beyond the mundane and the five senses. And you know, you inspire people to see life the way that you do, but they also get intimidated because they don't see life the way that you do, right? They feel like, oh, you're just mistreating people and acting like you are a starving artist and something like that, right? We have Earth. What are people realizing about you, Power 4? Yeah, you're definitely very ethereal. And you have this ethereal beauty. You have this ethereal aura. And people just feel like that you are barely perceptible to people. And people just, I don't know. I think that people, if these are strangers, people just react to you in such a strange way. It is so overwhelming, and like some of it makes you sick to your stomach and makes you angry, like that people are just so mundane and passionless that when they see you, you don't, sometimes, even if you are a star, even if you are like celebrity status, you still see yourself as like this normal person, and that you're just passionate about your art, and all these other people are just around you, can't stop staring at you, super intimidated, and just like and then develop an underlying animosity. And some of them, they do negative things with this intimidation. They do, you know, try to harm your artwork. They do try to steal your artwork. Some of them, they try to go around and elicit pity from other people because they're weaker and misfortunate. It's not your fault that you are talented. It shows that you've had a difference in beliefs and lifestyles than them. Some of you, they try to be like, oh, you have all this privilege with your beauty and your body, and you've had, you know, maybe they even see you as being very lucky and not having the same, you know, like them not having the same kind of, you know, opportunities and resources as you, and you're just like, it's not my fault. Like, it's really not your fault, Power 4, that you were the most hardworking, that you were the one that did all the work and study at this craft, at this art. That you were the one that kept getting inspired. That you were the one that put together something innovative. Strange. I feel like, you know, they feel like you are mistreating others because, you know, this talent puts you on a whole nother level. But they're not having compassion for your experience. You're just prosperous and abundant, and, you know, you're passionate about your life, and people are around harassing you, just like, you know, obsessed. Like, I think you know, I don't want to keep repeating myself, but it's annoying for you as well, right? And I feel like some of you guys are very sensitive still to all of this different attention, and they're not giving you, giving you grace for that. Like, you're just trying to be like a regular person that's doing their artwork, and there's always somebody lurking in the catacombs, watching your ethereal nature and getting hostile and aggressive about it. Like, Power 4, what are people realizing about you, child? Like, it's a lot. It's like, it's like they don't realize how uncomfortable you are. How uncomfortable these people making you. Just because you, like, they're like, oh, it's somehow like because you have talent or fame or recognition or just like a higher degree of artistry, it's like that doesn't allow you your peace. It doesn't allow you, healthy relationships. It doesn't allow, like, it isn't your birthright to have this abundance. It's not your fault that someone else did not take advantage of their birthrights. It's not your fault that they were weak. Okay? Somebody's name is Hazel. We have Scorpio. Okay? Somebody's name starts with the letter H for sure. Some of you, they feel like, they're realizing that you have been hiding and keeping secrets. And they see that you may have been posing. You may have been, showing, concealing parts of yourself. Because I definitely remember in a recent pick a card, I think the last pick a card, what does your crush think about you? There was a situation, I think pile 3, with lotto instincts, that some of you guys are a star. You guys are on track to fame, or you already have fame, or some type of public figure status, recognition. People recognize you on the street, or you're coming into prominence. And they feel like you have concealed some of these aspects of yourself, and to elicit pity, to elicit their help, to control the situation. And I feel like you did this because you know the highest and the lowest aspects of this artistry, right? There will be places where your artistry is rewarded. There will be, places where your artistry is, you don't have to conceal parts of yourself. You can be your fullest expression of yourself. Where people find your work to be inspiring, and, you can safely exist. But I feel like there are other, aspects or other, dynamics and situations where you do have to conceal parts of this artistry. You cannot let everybody know all your talents. You cannot let everybody know, sometimes, like I said, ignorance is bliss. Sometimes you really cannot show everybody how smart you are. You really can't show people how much knowledge you have, because then that will create like a dangerous illumination. Some of these, when people come into the recognition of you, it is a dangerous illumination, because people will become obsessed with these ethereal aspects of you. People will become obsessed with you. It will result, like, when people see how much personal power you really have as this artist, it may even cause them to reject you, cause them to do something negative. Maybe they would. I'm hearing something about them revoking offers, revoking, rejecting helping you. Or you just want to, you want people to treat you as a person, and not, try to, not, become opportunists when they realize that you're the star talent artist. Okay. So I definitely feel like the reason, people are realizing the reasons why you have concealed certain parts, because that in some, low vibrational spaces, people would negatively react to your power. I'm also getting that people are feeling like, realizing that you are, so some of them, they feel like you were posing and keeping a secret. I'm also getting that people are realizing, why some people have been getting mistreated. It's because of the negative forces that have been coming with, them realizing your power, right? With this dangerous illumination, that people will act out of their low aspects. That people will act from a place of pain and shame. So something about you may have, I'm hearing something about you attack somebody, or you did mistreat somebody, and let them know, I'm very aware why you're mad. Okay, a major conflict with someone's ex-wife, or a major conflict with someone who's lame. I'm getting some people who are very misfortunate people, not attractive, not talented, losers, and they shrink in comparison to you. And they've been, some of them, you know, they've been trying to because of their pity for these weaker and less fortunate people, they have been siding, you know, with them, right? So they're like, oh, you're just trying to hurt people who have less power than you. It is their decision to be a lame, okay? It is their decision. It's not your fault that you have the talent and beauty. These people have been, some of them have caused conflicts because of this. It's not that they're getting mistreated for no reason. They get mistreated because of the negative force that came with them, you know, with the illumination of your talents and gifts. Some of these people, they have just been lazy and unable to manage their own emotions. Instead, they project that onto you for being beautiful and talented and smart. How is this your fault, pal? For, you know, for being a star? It is your divine birthright to get honored for your talent, skills, and gifts. They're just lazy. I definitely feel like, yeah, it was a grief around this, right? This person, somebody left you or sided with the weaker and less fortunate and didn't give you the flowers that you deserved because they saw you as using your talent to mistreat somebody. But this person, you know, I don't know if they realize that this person or these people have been just envious of your ethereal beauty and talent. You needed to purify this, right? You needed to show that these people have not been coming from a place of, right, their conflict, you know, it was born of their envy. It was born of them projecting their laziness and insecurity. It was not because of anything that you did. They tried to villainize you for being an artist. And, you know, I'm hearing something about you. You did attack them back. Somebody who attacked you, you attacked them back. Like, you know, I think I was saying this earlier. I didn't finish my thought. It kind of reminds me of Nicki Minaj, right? Everybody knows that Nicki Minaj is the best female hip-hop artist. We know that she set the precedent for all these other artists. We know that she is a lyrical genius. But there's such a negative reputation with Nicki, and a lot of people have, you know, hopped on the hate train because they just see her as the most beautiful. They see her as never having any plastic surgery done to her face. They just see her as the one who has the most power, talent, and money. But people have been trying to strip her of her divine birthright of abundance and her position of authority because of their underlying animosity and wanting to take her position. It's not Nicki's fault that you have been lazy, that you have been, you know, with your ghostwriters, that you have been trying to channel, you know, and drain somebody for your own survival. All they don't see the artist's grief. They don't see the artist and how they had to sacrifice for the representation, for the actual, like, when we talk about realization, we talk about this expression of yourself, this expression in the external world, right? Such that you get honored, such that you get valued, such that, you know, your work, you know, you're passionate about it, and it inspires people. But they don't realize that these people who have been starving, poor, misfortunate, instead of getting inspired by the artistry and respecting the artistry, they instead villainize the artist. They instead try to rile up and throw a coup. Somebody tried to throw a coup. I definitely feel like there was a lot of sadness around this situation. Okay? Because you are the one that has to take the loss because of somebody else feeling misfortunate against you, shrinking against you. That ain't your fault. Right? It ain't your fault that you have, this beautiful romantic life. Some of them, they see you always getting, attracted to. They see you with a lot of, your phone always ringing off the hook, a lot of suitors coming after you. But these people, they end up, with the moon especially, they end up becoming extremely sensitive and intimidated by your inspiring artistic life, getting intimidated by your hobbies, right? Your hobbies make you hot. Your hobbies make you, the Nine of Cups. But they have been so unaware of that, like I was talking about this in the collective reading, that beauty siphoning and these people have been trying to swap, destinies with you. These romantic partners, these, masculines, they need to protect your starlight quality. Instead, they haven't lacked boundaries around these other weaker and misfortunate people who have just been trying to attack you because they're so lazy and not wanting to, find their own stardom. So they villainized you instead, friend. And this was the root of the abandonment. This was the root of the grief. Okay. Unfortunately. So these, when people become aware of your power as this artist, it is a dangerous illumination. And that some people will act, from the low. You know that people will, they'll end up, especially with this, I feel like with the moon especially in Scorpio, I feel like that's definitely related to the lowest aspects of how people will react to your inspiring artistry. Not being aware that this is your birthright, that this is something, not protecting your star quality, not feeling secure with you because of it. Okay, so some of them turned into fans, these romantic partners. I knew this was going to come out, victim. So instead of like letting yourself, with this grief and loss, I'm getting romantic partners, leaving you because they villainized you, instead of recognizing with the moon, instead of recognizing that these people have been attacking your nurturing and caring relationship. They've seen that the reason why you have this abundant relationship is because your partners are attracted to you because of your artistry, and they are attracted to you because of your ethereal, more spiritual aspects of your nature. They have not been protecting the star quality because they have been struggling with something, with you on a subconscious level. It's not that you are mistreating others because of your talent. It's because you are attacking people who have been attacking you and attacking your nurturing, sensitive, and caring relationships. You could have been left feeling like the victim from some type of hurt, right? Victimization. There was hurt incurred because, with the dangerous illumination of your stardom and your power. Because you like to partake in your hobbies and have fun. Relying on yourself, staying independent. I'm hearing that there was a karmic ending, okay? And this was a lot of grief around this. But, you're not going to let yourself be a victim. Some of them, they chose these other people that are weaker and misfortunate because they felt like you were using your talent to mistreat them. Well, that's their decision making. They can dwell at the south den with them, okay? Right? Archangel Uriel, second house. Right? Very shocking when I'm hearing something about you. You may have, like, they're realizing that you have been posing as starving. You have been posing as you haven't been showing your true financial capability. You haven't been showing through the second house. You haven't been showing your true personal freedoms because you haven't been wanting these people to possess you, for one, these romantic partners. But when they realized who you really were, it shined the light of truth. And they're definitely, you know, feeling the loss of this. They see that you were actually the one that was the victim. Villainizing you for beauty and artistry. Shocked. Some of them, they saw your possessions and thought you were materialistic. But they don't understand that you have valued your possession. You've worked for your possessions. You make your possessions work for you. Right? They try to, something about them, they try to villainize you as a artist that mistreats, as somebody who mistreats. This also came out in Pal 4. Pal 3. Something is definitely happening within the 1 to 3 weeks. Okay, there is a a shift happening. It's maybe with a romantic partner. Definitely getting that this cycle was very grief stricken, and you have been divinely protected around your stardom. Right, you have not been left a victim in this situation because people were angry and anxious about your personal power and talent. Okay, you had to something where you needed to discern this, and it became a dangerous situation because somebody was so angry and triggered and grew defensive because of your hobbies and your playfulness, because of you having this nurturing, sensitive, caring relationship with your romantic partner, from intimidated by your ability to see life beyond their mundane. They're shocked at who you really are. They were like, wait, I'm so sorry that that these people tried to paint you out as the villain. You were not the villain. You were a saint. You know that you didn't do nothing wrong. And you were left with a lot of grief when these people made a poor decision to leave you, to betray you. Okay? But the truth came out about these people who wanted to villainize you. And they were the dangerous situation. Something about them. It was a dangerous situation. I'm getting people who, you were at risk in a situation. You realized that there was abuse, injury. So some of you do need to pose. You do need to conceal. Because when people know who you really are and how much power you have, it becomes dangerous. This is not you as a negative force. This is not you trying to pose. This is not you mistreating others. This is not you trying to elicit pity. This is a safety precaution. Because people are so envious of your possessions that enhance your life. People are so mad that you have more personal freedoms than them. It's things that you worked for, and they're lazy and sad and misfortunate bums doing the same thing for 30, 40, 50 years. You don't have to prove yourself to anybody. Let's wrap. What are people realizing about you? They're realizing that you were the victim in this situation, and that they put you in a dangerous situation, and instead of protecting you, they had to, they projected something from their subconscious, and they're finally, this information is finally coming from their subconsciousness into their consciousness, and they're very sad and heartbroken about the truth that has been illuminated. They were so wrong about you, and they regret everything. They felt like this was very destructive and dangerous. Especially when they found out that some third parties were just trying to attack you because they felt threatened. Hated you for having financial capability and personal freedom. That's a lot, friends. Okay, that's a lot. I'm hearing that these people, they were like, oh, these were the true snakes. You were never the villain. And that they saw you clapping back being mean, it's because you knew that these people wanted to cause harm. You knew that these people were dangerous. You discerned them. Hangman in the reverse. Four of Pentacles, yeah. These people, they realized that you had to, I'm hearing something about the ball, dropped. Okay? The Four of Pentacles, something about you kept certain things healed. I'm hearing something about you had, tricks up your sleeve. You had cards, tucked away or something like that. Behind your back. You weren't letting everybody know what was behind you. You didn't let everybody know your strength. These people are now realizing that this was something that they needed to protect. Their union with you, your star quality. You need to protect the divine feminine. You need to nourish the divine feminine. Some of you, somebody's name is Angel or starts with letter A. These people went off and chose other people who were weaker and less fortunate because they thought they had a negative perception of your personal power and talent. Now they're realizing that this was the thing that they needed the most, right? Ten of Pentacles. They realized that they needed to protect this abundance. You guys were, these, third parties, hoes, ex-partners, they saw that you guys were having, with the 5th house, they saw that you guys were having success. You guys were overcoming traumas and scarcities, building a family, building securities. They saw the blessing of true love within this romantic affair. They saw that, that your relationship was a blessing, a lucky blessing. It was the result of some type of power of prayer. Something about you guys started to clean each other up or something like that. You started recovering together from some type of victimhood from these tricksters and these people who have been lying in the environment. It took sacrifice for this person to realize that you were their abundance that they needed to protect. But they have been wasting your abundance. They have been wasting your possessions. Getting attacked by these third parties, people who did not intend on protecting them, nourishing them, caring for them. Some of them, they went off and, supported people who just wanted money. They went off and supported people who didn't want to see them, that were embittered by them getting success and having a stable partner. Some of them, this was about a partner. For others, this was literally just about your wealth. Okay, clarifying the Hangman. What are people realizing about you? This person is getting the truth now, and they're trying not to feel like a victim from these people these karmic challenges, the Wheel of Fortune. Okay, other people who wanted to interfere and stop you guys from having wealth. A third party that has been resistance is what I'm hearing. Justice. I definitely feel like there is so much balance coming in. I definitely feel like you guys are coming into fairness and truth around this situation. But there was a lot of grief around this loss because of a karmic partner or karmic challenges. Somebody's name is Crystal. Okay, somebody's name is Crystal, or somebody is a fire sign. Okay, this person is realizing, that, you guys you came on something about them. You're like, we're back and we're better. Our family is stronger than ever. These people wanted to attack your wealth and make you guys lose and keep you, and wanted to steal your wealth from each other. Oh my God, friends. Oh, it's over. These people, these karmic challenges were very destructive. I'm hearing somebody's name that starts with letter Q, a Taurus. They saw that you had something abundant at home. Okay? People, even if you did not tell them this, they know. They may have, if you invited them into your home, they saw your possessions enhanced. They saw you, they saw your life enhanced. They saw you get more personal freedom. They saw you get more possessions. They knew that your house, involved an emperor. They knew that your house involved a stable and reliable partner. Someone that you built a sanctuary with, perhaps. You and your partner had a sanctuary where you can be your true self. And I also have a lot of sex and a lot of happiness with one another and personal freedom with one another. And they wanted to destroy this. But somehow you guys got around this karmic challenges, and you were able to come into balance and forgive each other and understand that this was grief. And that this person needed to overcome this grief, overcome these losses with, that you incurred from these karmic challenges. These people, partners especially, are starting to realize that this was a wealth that they needed to protect so that they can have personal freedom too. This is helping this person, helping them value, their possessions more, helping them value this relationship more, and how it actually, something about through the fifth house could be, these romantic partners, you guys having mutual interests, you guys forming structures and securities and finding abundance. And something about y'all, when y'all will go, when y'all were, not a, something about, especially if you were living with these people, when they know that you at home could be your true self, because when you were away, and came back or something like that, when you're away from each other, and then you come back, and all your tangible things, and how you guys have personal freedoms together. You were able to eat good. I'm hearing eat good, sleep good. Something about being able to free to be an artist. Okay, establishing your artistry, and making money from your artistry. These karmic challenges involve you guys establishing shared values, and that you need to protect each other. You need to protect each other from these karmics. You needed to close the door on these karmics because they have been attacking your emperor. Your emperor is a female or a male, but this person who is reliable and valuable, and a partner that you can be proud of, a partner that you can count on. They knew that you had somebody that cared about you and nurtured you. Even if you didn't say that, even if you didn't tell them, about your partner, right? If you were a male and you went off with some karmic partner, right? When you were in separation from your true love, you left your true love, feeling like a victim, because these karmics wanted to paint them out as a negative force. Some of you went, there was a karmic involved here that could sense that there was an emperor. They became obsessed, with your stable partner, the person that has been helping you enhance your life, and they wanted to destroy it. But you guys, you were preserved, and this relationship was divinely protected. Protect your home and protect your possessions, because there were people around who were disgruntled at you finally becoming a success. Some of these people, they have been in your life for decades, and they have never had everything that you needed. They never, could, help you blossom in the way that this new person could. Some of you, there was a karmic challenge that involved you, there was a karmic challenge that involved some kind of custom or tradition with a karmic partner, or some type of way of doing things. And this person had to learn that these traditions and customs never offered them nourishment. They never offered them protective care. It never offered them abundance. It never, let them blossom into their true self. And they had to realize, had to come into a logical reasoning that, the person that you're trying to villainize has been my greatest support, has been my greatest connector to truth, has been the person that has helped me enhance my life, who has healed me, who have come into my life and made me whole. So, you may have there was something here that happened where they tried to hurt you and tried to paint you out as, this negative person because you had talent and personal freedom. But then they came into truth and balance and seeing that you were the one that was victimized in this situation. All right. Ooh, you guys are stronger than ever. I'm hitting a relationship milestone with the Ten of Pentacles. Okay. Protected from these karmics. Okay. Something about you guys may have had karmic challenges on both sides. But now you have been valuing fidelity. You've been valuing protecting your abundance, protecting each other, and considering each other before making decisions. Letting go of destructive emotions like anger and anxiety around these karmics that don't even matter. Don't destroy your home because of these karmics. They don't matter. They're not the person that they can be their true self with. They're not their true love. They're not, the one that made them blossom. You are. You are the one that they experience freedom with. You are the one that they experience liberation with. This person has finally you know, coming to their higher learning around these karmic challenges, and you guys have hit another milestone. So stay tuned, right? I love you so much. Don't forget to check the description box for all of the ways to give back and understanding how more about our organization and our nonprofit work. Everything, you know, all the ads that you watch on the channel, all of the proceeds, tips are super appreciated. They all go back to supporting our initiatives in women's health. Leave me a comment down below. Let me know how this resonates. It was my honor to read your energy. And I'll see you in the next one.